Hey Void, how you doing? So, you may have seen from the thumbnail, this movie doesn't start with an A. Well, I've been a good boy lately, and actually was sticking to that diet pretty well, so I'm giving myself a little bit of a break on that just to see some movies that I actually been meaning to either watch or just haven't had a chance to see because I wanna. Gotta pace myself sometimes. So, I happened to go to Target and they were doing buy one get one half off on DVDs and Blu-rays, so and I ended up picking up a copy of The Last Voyage of the Demeter, a movie I've been wanting to see. So, I bought it and a couple $100 worth of others, so some of those will be slipped in here or there. Anyway, so Last Voyage of the Demeter just came out 2023, so very recent. And this one is it takes just a small piece of the novel of Dracula and just expands on it. And pretty much the whole movie is just one small chapter, just blown up into feature-length proportions. And I love that concept. It actually lets that area adds a lot more to it, and I was definitely looking forward to it conceptually, and everything that I was seeing looked pretty good. So, had high hopes. Well, my hopes maybe were a little bit higher than they should have been. The movie's fine, but it's not great. I mean, there's nothing really wrong with the film, but I guess I was just hoping for more than it was. Because this movie had a lot of potential to be very creepy, very tense. And it has some of that. But not as much as I was really expecting. The trailer made it feel like it was going to be a lot more than that. Well, so this movie features, the crew of the Demeter are picking up a few more people to help out on their voyage to London after they're taking on some cargo from some rich noble. Guess who? Anyway, they hire some new people, but one person they do not hire is Clemens, who is our main character. Now, they don't hire him because he doesn't strike them as very sailorly, and probably because he's black. Well, they end up, however, while loading, one person pretty much sees the symbol for the dragon symbol of Dracula and says, nope, don't want anything to do it. But as Clemens was on hand to save the cabin boy, son of Captain Elliot, well, he gets welcomed on board. And, well, pretty soon into the voyage, however, during a storm, one of the crates gets overturned and, well, they find a girl with some strange illness. Well, they assume that she's a stowaway, but what she actually was Dracula's food supply, and as they just grabbed his rations, now he's got to make do with the crew. And so begins the crew, one by one, being picked off by Dracula, and going from there, them trying to just figure out how to make it all the way to London, despite them realizing that they are not alone, and yeah. So, what works is the tension of the crew. It's very well acted, I will say that. They do a very good job there. That is one of the strongest points of this film. Also, the look of Dracula, very cool. They went for kind of the Nosferatu vibe and tried to make him seeming inhuman, but also intelligent, and they did a very good job there. A lot of whispers that go around him, very cool. Those things were working for me. Okay, things that weren't working as well. Despite this close confines, I was hoping to see Dracula lurking around a little bit more. You know, if he's just in the background a little bit more, or add some tension of just him stalking about rather than just some very fast attacks. It could have done a bit of a slower build-up. It seems to accelerate very quickly. So, I think I could have used a little bit more build-up, a little more tension. So, that was a shame. Also, the over-reliance on CG for the blood. I'm never a fan of CG blood, and this one goes that route. This movie is rated R for bloody violence. I can't see why. This could pretty much have been a PG-13. There's no... Other than maybe one person burning after they turn to a vampire in the sunlight. Maybe. But other than that, there's just a few neck wounds, so I don't see why this really got the R. So, and while I was on things I do like kind of the expansion of the stories. The girl in the crate, and I did like that aspect of it. I did like how that gives also the reason for Dracula to have attacked the ship rather than just the ship being attacked. So, a lot of that part was working. So, those things kind of let it down a little bit, though, and it just feels like something's missing. I mean, given the chapter of it, we know roughly how it ends, and it does a good job at not going too much, but part of the ending also just felt like... I mean, I was trying to do the downer note on it, but part of it was just like, come on. We knew it was coming, but... And that's related to Anna. If you know, you know. She was my favorite, pretty much my favorite character here, so especially when she gets serious and just grabs a gun to try to chase down Dracula. She was cool. Didn't care for how things ended with her. So, there's a lot I did like, a lot I didn't. I seem like I'm kind of coming down a little hard on this one, but that's just because I wanted this movie to be great. I'll give it a 7 MacGuffins, just because mostly because of the acting. It is on point. The atmosphere is working. It just needed to pace itself a little bit more. It needed a little bit more time to breathe, I think. How long was this one? Does it conveniently say on here? It was about 2 hours, but it felt like it should have been longer. Is that weird? And considering it's just one chapter of a story that they're blowing up to that proportion. I don't know. It felt like it should have gone on a little bit longer. The movie does feel like it goes by pretty quick. So, some pacing issues, but I'll still give it a 7 MacGuffins. I also love the concept of just taking, one element of a story and expanding on it like that, in this way. So, I would like to see more of that kind of a thing, especially for some classic horror stories. Just, a chapter that could be its own self-contained thing, getting an adaptation, but I like that idea. So, Last Voyage of the Demeter, great concept, a lot of things working for it, doesn't quite stick the landing, but I'm still rating it a 7 just because I did enjoy it. Okay, I think I got it all on this one. See you later, Void.